Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jyoti, and on my channel I share my journey with type 2 diabetes, weight loss, and also becoming the best version of myself. If that is something that you're interested in, then please subscribe to my channel so you guys don't miss a video. In today's video, I am in my car because I was trying to film my horrible Ozempic video at home, but because everybody was home and everyone in my family is like so loud, I just, figured it'd be best if I just go in my car and just talk to you guys about my horrible experience using Ozempic, because it's quiet here and also I love chilling in this little area. With that said, I wanted to also say that I'm not a doctor or any kind of medical professional, and I would highly suggest you guys talk to your doctor or your medical professionals about using Ozempic, and also getting a thorough breakdown of everything that it does for you, and also if it is right for you. So sadly, Ozempic was not the fit for me, and I'm grateful to be able to try it out when it was in a time where it's not so popularized. So basically, I tried it out back in 2021 of July. I remember I had to take it every single Monday at 11 o'clock a.m. for the entire month of July. So you have to be consistent with that. You have to take it the same day of the week, the same hour, and also the same dosage. I was on a dosage of 0 point something. I, for the life of me, cannot remember what my dosage was. I want to say it was like 0.5, but I honestly can't remember, to be honest with you. It's been a few years now. In July, I went to go see my doctor in regards to a blood test I had done, because I go and see her every 3 months because of my health conditions and whatnot. In that visit back in July of 2021, she actually recommended me trying a sample of Ozempic. So the sample was a 1 full pen that lasted about a month, and which is 4 weeks. And she had mentioned to try out Ozempic before, but she never had samples of it. And I told her that I probably wouldn't be buying this medication because I can't afford $400 medication without insurance. And I told her that it's something maybe in the future I might look at, but at the current time, obviously I wasn't. So I started taking it the first Monday of the month, and then I took it for 4 Mondays in a row. So my first week on Ozempic was absolutely crazy. I didn't think that such a small dose was gonna make me feel the things that I was feeling. At first I was confused because I was like, is this from the medication or is it from the food that I'm eating? So I was kind of really confused with it. So after taking my first initial dose on Monday, I experienced a lot of nausea and vomiting sensations throughout the entire week. And I honestly thought it was just the food that I was eating. Oh, this is probably me eating bad food or something. Because I remember going out to eat, and I remember having things that I wasn't supposed to be eating, fried foods and whatnot. So I thought it was the food that was making me feel sick. So my first week, I experienced extreme nausea, vomiting sensation, very low energy, and also I just felt really sick, and I couldn't really understand what was going on. The second week of using Ozempic, I realized that it wasn't the food that I was eating that was making me nauseous. It was actually the medication, because the vomit and the nausea feeling was so intense. And it was actually crazy because I was visiting my older sister in British Columbia, Vancouver to be exact, and there's so much to do there, and it's a very lively city, so there's always something to do there. And my sister had planned all these things that we would do, and she took us to some incredible restaurants like Black and Blue, Miku, Gastown restaurants, bars and stuff, and it was just such a cool experience. But Ozempic really ruined it for me. So if you're traveling, do not travel while on this medication, because it's gonna ruin your trip. I just had the most miserable time, and I never told my older sister that I was actually on this medication. I only told my younger sister, so she knew why I was feeling the way I was. But my older sister was getting agitated with me and annoyed, and I knew I didn't want to get on her bad side, because I do have a little fear of my older sister. I don't know if anybody else out there does with their older sisters, but my siblings are a teeny tiny bit afraid of my older sister, but she's like our mom, so it's cute. Our relationship, I love it. So anyways, long story short, she was getting annoyed with me because I just kept complaining about how sick I felt. I was kind of really shy and embarrassed to tell her that I was taking such a medication, and she didn't know what my health was like, and I didn't want to stress her out because my older sister gets stressed out with me particularly because I know it's because she cares so much about me, and like we're very close in age too. I had the most miserable time in Vancouver. Every restaurant we went to, anything I ate, like I physically didn't want to eat, but I ate because it was part of what was happening. We were going to different restaurants, we were doing different things, we were drinking and all this stuff, and it was just not good. And I kind of like forced myself to eat, and I kid you guys not, like after everything I ate and drank, I felt like I wanted to just like throw up my stomach, like my intestines, like my insides. Like it was just not good. It was a horrible experience. So yeah, Ozempic ruined my Vancouver trip in 2021. I also want to mention that we walked a lot in Vancouver. I feel like the best way to see anything in life is just like have a walkthrough versus like a drive or whatever. So we did a lot of walking and it was like super beautiful, but I just couldn't enjoy anything. Like I couldn't physically like walk much towards the end of the day. I couldn't like do the things that I wanted to because I was so stressed out. Like I just didn't understand like why I felt so extremely sick off this medication. I wasn't sure if like I was just reacting to the medication, like maybe it wasn't meant for me, and maybe like it's a good thing that my doctor made me try out a sample before committing to it or something, or whatever the case may be. Not that I was ever going to commit to it because again, I can't afford a $400 medication. On the 3rd week of using Ozempic, I was completely over it. I didn't even want to finish like the sample, but I was like, okay, well, I'm really gonna give this a go till the end. So I did commit to it, but the 3rd week I had absolutely zero appetite. I was repulsed by food. I was still nauseous and I still had that vomity feeling. I felt lethargic for some reason, even though I wasn't really eating, and I felt very low energy. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, my doctor wants me to be on this medication my entire life. This is not sustainable at all. Like I had the poorest experience using Ozempic. You just don't feel good on it. Like you feel horrible on it, and like your quality of life isn't great. So the 3rd week I felt really low about myself, my life. I don't know what it was, but I was feeling depressed. I was aware of it too. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Like I'm generally like a really happy person. I'm not somebody to like dwell or like feel low or just like numb or like null, you know? And I felt all those things the 3rd week. So going on to the 4th week, the last week, my last dose. So I knew that I definitely don't want to be on this medication. I definitely don't care for this medication. It's not something that I would even want to consider doing long term. Even if I did have insurance or the money for it, it's just something I would not go for at all. I'm grateful for the experience because I give props to anybody that puts themselves through all this to get to a weight or a goal or whatever they're trying to achieve by using this medication. It was just not for me. The 4th week, I just was completely like, how do I describe it? Like I felt like I had no soul. Like I don't know how else to explain to you guys. Like I was very unresponsive to my family members. I just wasn't willing to go out or do anything. Like my mood just like was so weird, and I can look back at this and like now reflect. It did like hinder my mood a lot, and it also made me feel just like numb. I don't know how to explain it otherwise, but it wasn't a good experience. Like I just felt like a living corpse. I don't know how else to describe it. Like I would go to work, I would just like, you know, just I felt boring. I felt like the most boring individual ever. I just didn't care for anything. And then food wise, I did not have any appetite. I don't know truly how to express to you guys like how I felt, but I just know in my head and in my heart that like it wasn't something that I would ever consider like doing long term. And then at the end of like my cycle with this Ozempic sample that my doctor gave me, I had a lot that I took away from it. I started feeling so much better after the second week of not being on Ozempic. I started feeling like myself and I started having a bit of an appetite. I still didn't have a full appetite, but I still started to eat food again. I had a lot to take away from this whole experience. I know 100% that I would never go back on Ozempic ever again in my life. And there were things though that I really thought to myself, and I'm just like, this medication is a lot like fasting. So if anybody's ever fasted, you know that you initially get hunger pains and whatnot. So with Ozempic, you're gonna get like nausea and vomiting. Like, I feel like this is the same thing, you know, like you still have to put yourself through a bit of pain with fasting or with Ozempic. And Ozempic is basically a medication that is no different than fasting. Like, I don't get it though, like why people don't make that connection, because you have this medication that basically suppresses your appetite and you don't feel hungry, you're not eating, you're basically fasting. And with fasting, you have to do a lot of mental work and prepare yourself for fasts, and you have to have a lot of willpower to do a fast. So there is a difference between the two. Like, one aids you and one is purely like you are in control of like the fast and whatnot. And anyways, long story short, like I just thought it was like really close to fasting, and basically at the end of the day you're fasting anyways. And then on top of that, I truly think that this medication is for people that really struggle with binge eating disorders, with like getting their food intake under control. Anybody that needs like that extra support, it's great that there's a medication out there that can help you aid in that department. I've done intermittent fasting for years now, on and off, so I know the practice of it. So like when I think of Ozempic, I think like for the most extreme cases out there. So if there's people out there that are like so extremely food addicted, or like have severe binge eating disorders, or like most severe, I want to say, I think that this medication is really great to help aid those people, to help them get back on track and help them have a more successful healing journey. I want to say that's what I believe Ozempic is for. I don't think that it should be prescribed to just like anybody to like have weight loss, or for just like the wrong reasons. Of course, when you fast, you obviously lose weight, and then of course when you're taking Ozempic and it's making you fast because you're so repulsed by food, of course you're gonna lose weight there too. At the end of the day, I would recommend you just practice fasting. Of course, everybody is different, everybody's journeys are different. I just feel like this is a great medication for people that really need that extra help and support when they just feel like they can't do it, but they just need that extra push to help them heal and get better. This is great for them, and it's a diabetes medication, so I really think that people that need this should be using this, but I don't think like the general public should be using it for like weight loss, because there's so many better ways to lose weight and feel good. Why do you want to feel nauseous and vomity like for an entire month? Like not me. So yeah, I highly recommend fasting to people, and just like eating a whole foods plant-based diet, which like makes you feel so good. And as for the weight loss, in the month of July I lost about 8 pounds off Ozempic, and do I think that that is worth it? I'll be honest, I have lost way more weight with a plant-based diet and intermittent fasting, because when I was on Ozempic, I was drinking alcohol and I was also eating like whatever. I just wanted to see like what it would do for me, you know? Like, I wasn't on a plant-based diet back then at all. I truly believe my doctor wanted me to try this out because I was complaining to her about me binging and not being able to focus, going off the rails. But through my whole experience with it, I realized that I do have willpower to fast, and I do have willpower to do certain things. I'm very, very, very grateful for the experience that my doctor even let me try out this medication, because yeah, a $400 pen, that's a lot of money. That's money I don't have for medication. I just wanted to share my experience because I've been trying to research other people's experience to see if it was similar to mine, but I haven't been able to find too many things, so I thought I would put out my experience for you guys. And again, I'm not opposed to this medication at all. I just think it's not right for me, but it's definitely right for other people that do need this. And I'm grateful for medications because they help aid us in times of need. So it pushes us to, you know, take action in our life. It's there for a good reason. Like, of course, I know lots of people think that medications are bad, but imagine living in a world where you don't have medication, you know, like there's not a fast treatment. So I don't ever like shit on medications because I think that like it's there for a purpose, but like you should also have the awareness to want to better yourself and not solely rely on medications at all. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on medication too. Well, that concludes my video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you guys have tried Ozempic, let me know in the comments below and we can have like a conversation in the comments. I would love to hear your guys' experience and I want to see if like it matches my experience. And I will see you guys in my next video. Have a beautiful day wherever you're watching from. I'm sending you lots of love. Bye.